Hi, I'm Michelle Henry, the Chautauqua County Historian, and I'm here to talk about the Bicentennial History Fair that's happening August 13th and 14th.
Hi, I'm Pam Brown. I'm on the Bicentennial Committee and I am the village historian for Panama.
Hi, I'm Heather Schneider. I'm on the Bicentennial Committee and I'm also an author of a local book. Sorry.
And I'm Bill Schneider, and I'm going to be one of the reenactors that will be portraying part of our county's history during the History Fair. And you'll be able to see wonderful different time periods that depict the individuals that founded this county.
So this is Chautauqua County's bicentennial year, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate the many historical groups in the county that work so hard all year long to preserve our history, to share it with tourists and residents, to bring it into our classrooms. And it's amazing how many different groups we have here in the county who are so committed to our history and seeing that it's preserved for future generations. We decided to have a history fair during the county's bicentennial because we have a very large county and there are organizations spread throughout the county. And we thought it would be nice to bring them all together in one place during the bicentennial to share information and to promote their programs and their collections. So we sent out an invitation to many groups in the county, and we've had an overwhelming response. So on August 13th and 14th, which is a Saturday and Sunday, the Chautauqua Suites Conference Center will have over 50 groups who come together for 2 days to share their history and their organization and their mission with everybody from the public. And we have made this free and open to the public, and it's free to participate as an organization, and we couldn't be more pleased with the turnout. We will be doing things throughout the day. On Saturday, the History Fair will be open from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. and on Sunday it will be open from 10 to 4. And so we will have demonstrations throughout the day. The Hilltop Spinners are going to be there on Saturday to demonstrate spinning. A weavers group is going to be there to demonstrate weaving. We have organizations that just run a full range of historical missions, from the Yorker Museum in Sherman to the Grape Festival in Silver Creek, and the Dunkirk Lighthouse, and the Carroll Historical Society, the Fenton History Center, the County Historical Society. Everybody works so hard, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to share that with folks across the county. So, and the other thing that's very nice about this is that we also are going to have several local authors there, because there have been some wonderful local histories published recently. And 2 of those authors are here now with me, and so they can talk about the book that they've written.
Okay.
This is our book on the village of Panama. We wrote it because Panama's celebrating its sesquicentennial of the date of its incorporation, and so we've had events this whole year, and we thought it would be great to write a history of Panama. So there's chapters about the schools and the cemeteries and different local folks that became famous, like James McGraw, and it's got some nice photos in it and images in it. And it's just a nice book for folks to read and get more familiar with Panama's history.
Yes, we decided to come together about a year ago and take on this task. We met with History Press, who was good enough to take on and publish this book. They did a fantastic job, and we had a lot of fun putting this together, and it's been very well received by the people in Panama. They really have enjoyed looking at it, and we've gotten some nice compliments about the book.
So if you're interested in any of our local history publications, coming to the History Fair is a great opportunity to see several different publications by different authors and different publishing companies. That also includes 2 DVDs that were created recently about our racing history. Is that right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. A couple years ago, I'm active in Harmony Historical Society, and we're given some newspaper clippings about a racetrack in Watts Flats in Harmony, And I started researching it more, and it ended up becoming a documentary. It's called Rollable. The track was called Rollable, and there's a lot of great oral history interviews in here of the men that raced. And the Historical Society sells these DVDs, and it goes to our educational programming. And then the same man that helped me produce this has also produced the State Line Speedway DVD. Randy Anderson and the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame will be selling these at the History Fair also. And we'll be setting up viewing, so if folks want to come and watch the DVDs at certain times, then they'll be available for them to watch too.
So there are many, many different subjects that will be covered at the History Fair, from racing to our military history. The Rural Cemetery Association for the county will be there, and that organization itself is 100 years old. So just that alone is significant. The 2 chapters of Daughters of American Revolution will be there. And one very nice thing that I think will be of great interest to folks is the banner from the 9th New York Cavalry, which was the Westfield Regiment, and that was a Civil War unit, and they fought in some of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War. They really saw tremendous fighting during the 4 years of the Civil War. And in 1886, they were presented with a silk banner named after one of their colonels who was killed at Trevilian Station. And the banner was hung for many years and was recently rediscovered, and it's silk, it's very large, and it's a lovely, lovely item, but it really needs to be restored. And if we can raise the money to restore the banner, it will be donated to the Chautauqua County Historical Society in Westfield, so it will be something that will remain in Westfield where it was first presented to the regiment, and it's going to be on display, and people have not ever seen this, and then those who have seen it haven't seen it in many, many years. And so we're really pleased to be able to have it on display, and we will ask for donations to help with its restoration. And if we're able to raise the money for the restoration, it will be done this fall and donated. Anybody who chooses to make a donation during the History Fair will be entered to win a wonderful gift basket full of items made locally. So it's a little extra incentive to come to the fair and to possibly win a nice gift basket. We also will have our Bicentennial passports for sale. And for those of you who don't know about that, it's a contest really to get people to go out and visit our historic sites. And the passports are available throughout the county. The Bicentennial History Fair is a passport destination, so if you already have a passport, please plan to come to Chautauqua Suites August 13th and 14th, because that will be an opportunity for you to get your passport stamped. So we really would love to see children, adults. I think there will be things there for everybody, and not just inside but outside, because on the grounds of Chautauqua Suites we hope to have many different reenactors from different military periods of the county's history, and that's what Mr. Snyder is going to talk about today.
Yes. During the History Fair, we have some very special programming designed for all those who attend to kind of immerse you and bring history back to life right before your very eyes. I think there is a disconnect sometimes we have with history, especially our local history, and through reenactors we're able to bring history alive right before your very eyes. And what we will see is we will see various time periods represented from the 17th century, the 18th century, and the 19th century, and those formative years of Chautauqua County. Now, even though we're celebrating the 200th birthday of Chautauqua County, our history goes even way before that, with its deep-seated roots with the Native American populations that roamed the hillsides and the fields and the forests around Chautauqua County, as well as the important role that it played in the struggle between the French and the British during the French and Indian War. We have various groups that will be set up outside, and they will be demonstrating different aspects of colonial life as well as military life from the different time periods. We have a group that will be representing the French and Indian War. We have another group that's going to be representing and demonstrating Revolutionary Colonial Militia. We have a group that's going to be representing the Chautauqua Militia from the War of 1812, which was our own homegrown military organization that played a role in the War of 1812. And then we will have various units from around the county that will represent our connections from the Civil War. Now, many of these individuals are your neighbors, your friends, people you may see at work. This is what they do for a hobby. They invest their time in research and put together a picture for people and themselves of what life was like at those time periods. A lot amount of research is done in books at historical societies, like you're going to see represented, and not only delving into the paper part of the historical societies in their records and books, but also into their artifact archives, trying to find those little pieces and hints of history that were still remnants and left over that we could take a look at and match with the written documentation and produce an item, for example, such as the flintlock rifle that you see me carrying here. And this is a very typical flintlock rifle that you would have found in Chautauqua County in that turn of the century 1800s time frame up to 1812. And this was actually made by a local artisan who lives in the northern end of the county up towards Silver Creek. And his part of reenacting is taking and looking at and studying the firearms of the period and actually recreating them. And that's what you'll also see. You'll see several artisans set up that are going to show you different representations of different crafts and arts. Today we call it art. Back then it was just a way of life. It's a trade that you may have picked up, that you fed your family, that you created tools for survival. But in today's world, we consider them a piece of artwork. And you'll see everything from pouches to powder horns to different styles of firearms that were created to the clothing. Clothing played a big part in it, down to the blankets. Blankets were something that was an item that could have been traded for or bought, but many times on the colonial frontier, they were actually woven. And you'll see the spinners. You'll be able to see the spinners take the materials and spin it into yarn. The weavers will weave it into a cloth, and then you'll be able to see what types of materials and items were created from their products. So if you come to this history fair, not only will you see the reenactors outside in their camps that represent reproductions of 18th century, 19th century life, but you'll also be able to partake in part of the history fair that's going to be kind of unique. Throughout the weekend, we're going to offer different lectures and topics and presentations from different experts in different fields relating to aspects of history, as well as we are also going to be taking a look at the Roll Bowl DVD for those of you that have not been able to see it yet. We're going to premiere that, as well as the State Line DVD as well. And a schedule will be posted of when each of the lectures and who will be presenting them each day, both on Saturday and Sunday. And that'll take place inside, as well as you'll find some artisans inside the Chautauqua Suites themselves with presentations of firearms, powder horns, pouches, like I said, different types of crafts from the time period, and nowadays we consider them pieces of artwork, all highly detailed and replicated from extensive research.
So we want to extend an invitation to you to join us in August. And I just want to reiterate, the History Fair is to help us celebrate our county bicentennial, and it's to help raise awareness of all of the historical organizations. And there are many of them in the county that work every day to preserve our history and to promote it and to bring it out to the people who live here and the people who visit here, the people who are from here but no longer live locally. And it's free to the public. It's a wonderful chance to spend some time getting to know your community again, or some other subject area that interests you. We're there on Saturday from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. and on Sunday, August 14th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I'm sure there's something there that